What's up, everybody? It's JT Sports. I'm back to you guys with another video. Now in this video I'm doing another 2019 full 7-round NFL mock draft, but it's going to be different from all the other ones that you see on YouTube. And this mock draft is just going to be strictly quarterbacks and no other positions. Now this video took me over 2-3 days to make, so if you like the video and want to show support, just make sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It shows that you like my content and you appreciate the effort that I put into these videos, because I want to do videos on YouTube that no other YouTuber is doing. And that's my whole goal of doing these awkward and all these full 7-round mock drafts and all these new videos. I want to have unique content that makes people want to subscribe to my channel. So without further ado, let's get into it. My first full NFL mock draft was strictly quarterbacks. So in the first round, first overall, I have the Arizona Cardinals taking quarterback Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, the 2018 Heisman Trophy winner, has been the favorite to be selected #1 overall by the Arizona Cardinals, having already reportedly received second-round picks for quarterback Josh Rosen from the Patriots, the Giants, and the Chargers. Kyler Murray is the quarterback Cliff Kingsbury feels he can have great success with. And with Kyler Murray at the helm, I feel they will be pretty good. And I had Kyler Murray being the first quarterback taken off the board. Now, the thing with this that people need to understand is, like, when you make an investment and a coach like Cliff Kingsbury, you have to kind of be all in. You kind of have to give this guy the key and give them the player that he feels that he can succeed the most with. And the Eagles kind of did a similar thing with Chip Kelly, and it really backfired in their face, because this guy, he became general manager and he started training away with Sean McCoy, Deshaun Jackson, just all these crazy behind roster moves. So you really have to be careful if you're the Arizona Cardinals. You want to give him the keys, but you don't want to give him too much power that he's messing up the team and affecting the team's performance going forward. So with the 6th overall pick in the first round, I had the New York Giants selecting quarterback Dwayne Haskins. Now, I know I had the Giants passing on Haskins or a quarterback in the first round in all my other mock drafts, but GM Dave Gettleman has said that they are evaluating all the top quarterback prospects, and they might take one in the first round. But in translation, it's either Kyler Murray or Dwayne Haskins, and it will probably be Haskins, since Kyler Murray is most likely not going to be on the board by the time it's the New York Giants' time to pick. Haskins can sit and learn for a few years behind Eli Manning, or he could be starting as early as week 6 if Eli Manning decides to stink it up. So it all depends on how good Eli Manning plays. The Giants have just been so aggravating to me when I do these mock drafts, because one day they're talking about how they're not going to draft the quarterback in the first round. They're confident in Eli Manning. I saw a report this morning when I was at school about how they might end up renegotiating and extending Eli Manning's contract. So it really makes it hard to do these mock drafts. For the sake of this mock draft, I'm just going to go ahead and say that they're going to select quarterback Dwayne Haskins, because in these mock drafts, you don't have to stick to something all the time. I mean, how many mock drafts do these analysts make? They make about 7 mock drafts, always changing their opinion. So I'm kind of changing my opinion right now. I think they might take Dwayne Haskins. So with the 10th overall pick in the first round, I have the Denver Broncos selecting Drew Lock, the quarterback out of Missouri. Now, me personally, I feel the Broncos should pass on the quarterback in the first round, but John Elway is feeling a lot of pressure from Denver Bronco fans lately with his inability to find a good quarterback. Now, Drew Lock, the big arm gunslinger, to me would be more of a pressure pick from the Denver Broncos and John Elway, because we don't really know how good Joe Flacco will be. Some NFL execs in an article that I was reading said that the Denver Broncos are getting the average quarterback, and another article I read said that the Denver Broncos are getting an absolute great quarterback in Joe Flacco that should have been the starting quarterback when he was fully healthy with the Baltimore Ravens. So it's a lot of conflicting reports, but since we don't know the Joe Flacco that we're going to be getting, in my opinion, I think the Joe Flacco that we might get, he'll probably be around top 15 in the league. But if he does worse, then I feel John Elway will want to have a backup plan, which is his whole reason for drafting Drew Lock, just in case Joe Flacco doesn't work out. And then Joe Flacco's point of the career that he is right now, he probably won't be no more than an average quarterback. Like I said earlier, top 15 in the league at best. So if he stinks it up, we can see Drew Lock stepping in. And if Joe Flacco plays solid, then Drew Lock could sit a couple of years, which will benefit him because he's not starting material yet as of right now with his footwork and decision making. So he can work on that stuff. And hopefully when he does get the opportunity to start for the Denver Broncos, he won't be walking around like a deer in headlights. So I have Drew Lock going 10th overall to the Denver Broncos. The third quarterback that I have being taken off the board, second round, 42 overall, I have the Cincinnati Bengals taking Will Grier. Now this, I have yet to see anybody make a mock draft with the Bengals taking Will Grier. Now, Bengals fans have been waiting to move on with Andy Dalton. I mean, they wanted to move on from Marvin Lewis for like 8 years, but he's finally gone. And now they want to move on from Andy Dalton. Now, Andy Dalton is going to be the starter, at least for now, but he's on a very thin leash, as I saw an article early on this week saying that the Bengals owner has already said that he needs to see more out of Andy Dalton before talking of a new contract extension. And Will Grier could be the perfect quarterback that could finally dethrone Andy Dalton, as A.J. McCarron and Jeff Driscoll have failed to do. With a good wide receiving core with A.J. Green and Tyler Boyd, Will Grier could have locks that says he's very accurate. He has very good anticipation and timing on routes. He knows how to put the ball in places where only your wide receiver can get it. Just good ball placement. I'm still not really sold on how good of an arm he has, but he had a solid pro date, which really impressed me. So I think him being drafted in the second round by the Cincinnati Bengals, 42nd overall, would be a good pick. Now, 4 picks later, in the second round, 46 overall, I have the Washington Redskins selecting quarterback Daniel Jones from Duke. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be like, why do you not have Daniel Jones going in the first round? I'm not the only person to not have Daniel Jones going in the first round of my mock draft. And it's not because I don't think Daniel Jones is a first-round caliber quarterback. I absolutely do believe he is a first-round caliber quarterback, and he should be able to start right away. But, I mean, this draft is just so rich with defensive players, edge rushers, and all that. And I think more teams are just going to look at the opportunity to grab those guys up first and then go quarterback later. And yes, the Redskins do have Colt McCoy and Case Keenum, but those guys are backup quarterbacks for a reason. They aren't long-term solutions, as neither are franchise caliber quarterbacks. By selecting Daniel Jones against the Redskins franchise, the quarterback they are looking for, and they don't have to rush him into action, as he can sit out and ride the bench for however long they choose behind either Case Keenum or Colt McCoy for a year. And if the Redskins decide to bring back Alex Smith for one more year after missing this coming season with a devastating leg injury that he suffered the middle of the 2018 season, Daniel Jones will be a very good pick. He's a great game manager with good accuracy and a solid arm, and he takes care of the football. So I can see him being drafted by the Washington Redskins in the second round. In the third round of the NFL draft, 74th overall, the next quarterback that I have being selected by the New England Patriots, I have Ryan Finley. Now, Ryan Finley to the New England Patriots is a match made in heaven. He can take care of the ball. He can throw the ball accurately, has solid mechanics. But his downfall is that he doesn't really have a strong arm. He isn't that really athletic. He won't really make anybody miss and stuff like that. He reminds me a lot of Alex Smith, but less athletic. But nevertheless, he would be a good fit in the New England Patriots system where he can be developed with a great coaching staff, and he gets to learn from the greatest quarterback of all time, Tom Brady. Now, the Patriots in the past have had success drafting quarterbacks in the later rounds. They drafted Jimmy Garoppolo in the second round. Jacoby Brissett, I believe they drafted him in the fourth round. So they have had success in drafting quarterbacks in the later rounds of the draft. In the fourth round, 131st overall, I have the LA Chargers selecting quarterback Tyreek Jackson from Buffalo. Now, you guys let me know in the comment section if this might be a reach. I think this might be a reach, but Tyreek Jackson is my favorite player in this NFL draft class, so I might be a little bit biased. Now, the Chargers have been looking for a guy to take the mantle when Phillip Rivers decides to finally hang it up. They did sign Tyrod Taylor from free agency, but he's not a long-term solution who can take over for Phillip Rivers. He's just a solid backup. Tyree Jackson could be the franchise quarterback for the Chargers with a lot, and I mean a lot of development and coaching. He has great size. He's 6'7", 245 pounds. He's a great athlete. He ran the 4.59 at the NFL Combine during his 40, and he has a very strong arm with good zip on the ball. Steve Smith was grilling him at the NFL Combine for throwing the ball too hard during the gauntlet drill and messing up, quote, receivers' money. Now, Tyree Jackson has a lot of work to do on his throwing motion, and has a very long and slow throwing motion. His footwork and accuracy is a lot to be desired, and a lot of scouts say he's a bigger project than what Josh Allen was, who had a pretty solid rookie year. But overall, if Jackson is able to get a good coaching staff and able to develop just a little bit better and the next 2-3 years, I think he will be able to be a solid quarterback for the LA Chargers, and he'll be a force to come for years with the LA Chargers with his running ability, his size, and whatnot. I believe his ceiling is 70% of what Cam Newton is, and probably his low-end ceiling will probably be Brock Osweiler, who is pretty much a journeyman at this point. So in the 5th round, 151 overall, I have the Green Bay Packers selecting Clayton Thorson out of Northwestern University. Now, Clayton Thorson is a better quarterback than what most people give him credit for. He took Northwestern, a team with a below-average group of receivers and running backs, to the Big Ten Championship, where they were somewhat competitive. He has a big, sturdy frame with a solid arm. He has good ball placement, solid footwork. And with Green Bay, who should be able to compete right away for that backup quarterback spot, and he could be a good backup for a few years and eventually become a starter somewhere. Now, with another quarterback being taken in the 5th round, 152nd overall, the pick after the Green Bay Packers, I have the Miami Dolphins selecting quarterback Jarrett Stidham out of the University of Auburn, who had a down year in 2018 with some awful performances, but he was pretty much held back by the lack of talent that he had around him. He has solid accuracy, good mobility, and he's good at reading defenses. And with the Miami Dolphins, he should be able to go there, become their second-string quarterback, and maybe they might give him a chance to start during this season, as they do plan on taking. And I believe Stidham will be a solid starting quarterback in the NFL, even if it's not with the Dolphins. In the 6th round, 178th overall, I had the New Orleans Saints selecting quarterback Kyle Shermer from Vanderbilt University. Probably the best untold story of the SEC from this past season was how good Kyle Shermer was from Vanderbilt. He was very, very impressive, had a very, very good game versus Notre Dame. He is the son of Giants head coach Pat Shermer. Now, Kyle Shermer should be able to make an NFL roster and become a backup. He has good knowledge of the game, pretty good ball placement, and he was pretty solid against some pretty good competition. For the Saints, he will be a good quarterback to draft and see if he can develop into a good quarterback for them, or a good backup for whoever they decide to go with moving forward at the quarterback position when Drew Brees decides to retire. So finally, the last quarterback that I have being drafted for my 2019 NFL mock draft for strictly quarterbacks. In the 7th round, 237th overall, I have the Oakland Raiders selecting Trace McSorley out of Penn State. Now, John Gruden, being the offensive mind that he is, he would like to draft a guy like McSorley and see if he can make the roster and see what ways he can utilize him if he does make the roster. He's a pretty good athlete with poise, and he's very, very tough. Maybe John Gruden can line him up in Wildcat and a bunch of other different formations, like how the New Orleans Saints do it to Mason Hill. So I would like to see that really happen. So you guys let me know what you guys think about my 2019 NFL mock draft strictly for quarterbacks. Let me know if you like the video. Make sure to like it and subscribe for more NFL videos and content. And thanks for watching.